Welcome, Facebook. Welcome, Millennials. And welcome again to another episode of the Millennials and Money podcast. It is August, 15th?
I guess it is.
Yes, and you're tuned in. So I am Ahmad Scott, a.k.a. Ahmad the Great, licensed financial professional and affiliate of Millennials and Money. And I'm joined here by the wonderful, the beautiful Miss
Regina Walker, a.k.a. Rich Gina. And this is episode 15 on August 15th. How perfect is that?
Very perfect. Hey, we're glad that you guys are joining us again today. If this is your first time, then welcome to the Millennials and Money podcast. This is a safe place for you to talk about your finances, to share with us as we share with you our financial journey so that we can help you as well as ourselves get to our financial freedom. So the Millennials and Money podcast, we host every first and third Wednesday of each month. So join us next month and the month after and so on. As we talk about the latest in finances, we share concepts as well as we go through different strategies to help you achieve your financial freedom. So not only do we provide life-changing financial information here on the podcast, we also have several social media sites. Yes. So this is where we take a pause, we take a break for you to hit like, for you to share it, and for you to follow us. Yes, right? As well as subscribe for those who are watching us on YouTube. So invite a friend to this, share it to your page, go ahead and drop a comment so we'll know. So we're also Millennials and Money on Instagram. It is millennials_and_money. On IG, you're right now tuned into our Facebook. We're Millennials $and money here. We have our email address is info@millennials, the letter N, money.com. You can send us there as well as on Meetup, right? So
we're everywhere.
We're everywhere that you can find us. Wherever social is, we're there. So we have several different outlets for you to find Millennials and Money and keep up with all the latest in the financial information that's going on. So I'm so happy to be here along with Regina, right?
I know. We hosted about a month ago.
Yeah.
Together. So I love working with Ahmad. And today was the first day of school. So happy first day of school for everybody. I know traffic was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
My nieces, there was their first day of school. One of my nieces was her first day of junior high. So she was like nervous. She said she wasn't nervous, but she said she was anxious.
Yeah, she was nervous.
Yes, she was very talkative.
Shout out to my baby Bella. Today was her first day of kindergarten. Yes, right.
Did you shed a tear?
You know it. Her first time, a full day of school. I talked to her. She was like, I was there for a long time. Yes, that's what it's like going to school from the beginning to the end. No more half days. So as you know, we're here in Houston, Texas. And when school starts back up, you know it because traffic picks back up.
And accidents. There were so many accidents on the way up here today. So y'all drive careful. Because it's bad out there.
Yes. So it's going to be really bad the first 2 weeks as, you know, all the new parents and parents in general want to drop their kids off. Kids want to be dropped off.
Yes.
You know, they don't want to get on the bus with their fresh outfits and fresh sneakers. So it's going to be plenty of traffic. Don't forget, do not speed in those school zones. No cell phones in the school zones either.
You will get a ticket.
Man, they're waiting and ready. They're in the medians. They're all over the place.
I like that sound.
Regina thought they were about to get pulled over or something. She's a speed demon.
Yeah, I really am, though.
Man, there's so much going on, though, right?
Yes, so much going on in the world. And, hey, we're here to keep you abreast on all of that. It doesn't matter if it's finance or whatever is going on in social media world. We are here to keep you up to date.
Yes. Did you see what happened? Forbes posted an article maybe about a month ago, if that, about Kylie Jenner, about her becoming or soon to become the youngest billionaire, self-made billionaire.
I don't like that term. So I don't like the term self-made.
Yes, at the age of 21, she should become the youngest self-made billionaire, surpassing Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, who became a billionaire at the age of 23. So kudos to her. And
I mean, yeah, it is a huge accomplishment, but I love the fact that she took the platform and made it even more bigger than what it was given to her. So, they started off on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And I remember watching that show. I'm telling you, I was a reality show junkie back in the day. every now and then I still will tune in every now and then just to see the hood ratness of the keeping up
Of
with the
reality
Kardashians.
shows or that show?
Every now I haven't watched it this year or this in the last few seasons, but every now and then I would tune in just to see what kind of craziness they're getting into. But I remember them when they were, when she was younger and with her sisters and everything, very shy thing on TV at least. And look at her now. But I still don't like the term self-made because she didn't do it herself.
So explain that. So just to clear it up, because when this article was posted, it was a lot of talk on social media about them using the term self-made. Mm-hmm. So explain your reason behind not agreeing with the term self-made.
I just don't like the term self-made because everybody needs somebody. A door was opened up for her to be able to do those things. So she didn't do it by herself. Her mom is her manager. So family is involved. Other people are involved. So she didn't do it by herself. I know that they're not using it in that sense that she did it all by herself, but I just don't like the term because most people think of it in that sense. So they're doing it by themselves when they say, "Oh, I'm self-made." No, you're not.
That's perfect.
You didn't come into this world by yourself, and you ain't gonna die by yourself. So
tell that to my grandmother. She would tell
it. You're so silly.
But yes, you're absolutely right. And along with Kylie Jenner, $900 million net worth at this time at the age of 20, there's so many celebrities who have amassed fortunes, right? Mm-hmm. What we assume is lifelong levels of income and money that they should, they're passes on to generation after generation after generation, which is our hope and our goal here with Millennials and Money is that we not only show you how to make the money, how to save the money, how to grow the money, but most importantly, we show you how to transfer the money over
to the next
generation and generation.
Yes.
So if you're unsure how to do that, if you're scratching your head about what we're talking about generational wealth, then definitely reach out to us, contact us. My information is right there. There's my email address, ahmad.scott01@gmail. There's Regina's information right there. When we do the split screen, you can see her email address as well as the brand's email, info@millennialsandmoney.com. Reach out to us, find out how do I provide generational wealth for my kids' and all that. So we do that each and every day here. We sit down with people one-on-one and show them exactly how to make money, grow money, save their money, as well as transfer their money on to other generations.
And protect it.
Definitely. That's one of the most important ones, right?
Yes, you got to protect it.
We'll get that to a little bit later. But there have been celebrities who have, like I said, amassed fortunes and found a way to no longer have it or pass it on to other generations.
Yes, which is very sad to say. Many people think that they don't need a will. Because I don't make a lot of money. I don't have this. I don't need a will. Well, there are some celebrities that felt the same way, or that they don't update theirs as frequently as they should. And sad to say, things happen, and their family is the ones that are hurt by it, and they have to go through all these legal battles for years upon years because their loved one didn't do the things that they need to do properly.
That is so true. We work with a company hand in hand that provides wills that you can update whenever you want to, and it's living wills that you can constantly update, you can constantly change and make adjustments to, and it's so easy to get. Right now, it is not like before. You don't have to get a lawyer and go through all that process and pay a lawyer each and every time you want to update it or something changes. This is something that you can do. We use our phones for everything. There's an app for it. You can easily go on there and change the documents, sign the documents, DocuSign. There's so many different things that you can use. So there's no reason why you shouldn't have a will. And I know what you're thinking out there. Some of you like, I don't need to have a will. Yes, you do.
You have a child, you have a car, you have any kind of asset.
If there's something that with your name on it, you should have a will. You should have it protected, because the legal paperwork or red tape that you have to go to in the event of your untimely passing, and your family it just doesn't get it. It just doesn't pass on that way. There's so much that
there's a lot of legal hoops that they have to go through.
Exactly, and that's what we'll find out and talk about. So if you want to go break us into
so the first article talks about I think it's about 29 celebrities that passed without a will or had and one of them is our very own Michael Jackson, and
I know you're a
Yes,
big Michael
I
Jackson
love
fan.
Michael Jackson. I
Oh
love
my
Michael
God.
Jackson.
So every Halloween, if you guys don't know, Regina dresses up
No, I don't.
as Michael Jackson.
No, I
She breaks out the red jacket with all the zippers with the sparkly glove.
No. My sister did have that red jacket though when we were growing up, and I was a little upset that I was a little too chunky to wear it. But that's on another note. But it says Michael Jackson didn't die without a will. It's just that his will wasn't properly wasn't done.
Wasn't updated.
It wasn't updated to the standards of when he passed, from the overdose.
And it's not just Michael Jackson. As you see on the article, there's several, famous musicians and people on there. Abraham Lincoln, he's on there. If you keep going, there's Dr. King is on there. Kurt Cobain. Prince,
and that was the more recent.
Yes,
one.
He was the last one to pass, and
they're still in legal battles. I
correct,
think,
right? And his family, they're battling over the estate of Prince, and he's worth so much. He owned his master, so there's so much that happens when if you don't have a will or you don't prepare for something like that, it looks like you're being selfish, like you don't care about those who are grieving after your passing, who have to take care of some of those things. Don't be that person. Go ahead and take care of it. It only takes a matter of seconds. Again, we work with several companies hand in hand that produces wills, and it's so very easy to get.
I know one was Heath Ledger. Like I was a very big, like Batman fan, and so like whenever he did the Joker and all those other things, I was surprised that he passed with a will. But it was like done like 5 years prior. So his daughter and the mother of the daughter was not in the will. So, I mean, to leave them and they have to fight over the estate on what they should have access to, what they didn't, and all those things. And so it's sad that they had to go through all of that when they already had to, she had to bury her dad. And so it's sad whenever, especially a child is involved in it and all those legal issues.
Yeah, and this just shows you that just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you have a lot of knowledge about money, a lot of information about it, or you're not surrounded by people who actually know and have your best interests at heart.
Yes.
Right? So you have to make sure you gain that knowledge for yourself and that you educate yourself. And that's exactly what we do here. We help you become your own money manager, right? So each and every week we have workshops. Go ahead and tell them about the workshops. Gina.
Okay, so our financial literacy workshops, we are on a mission to educate 1 million families by the year 2020. 1 million. It doesn't seem like a large number because of how many people are in the United States and in the world.
I think we're grossly underestimating ourselves.
Yeah,
right?
we really are. We should be able to help more than 1 million families by the year 2020. But the workshops are they're so powerful. Who doesn't want to increase their cash flow? Who doesn't want to get out of debt? Who doesn't need to know about life insurance and proper protection and understand those things? Who doesn't need to understand their retirement? Like we invest in our 401ks, our 403bs, our 457s, all those different things, but we don't understand them. That's where you come in, you learn through our workshops, and we're able to help you walk through those processes and fill in whatever gaps are needed. If you need to understand a will, if you need to understand college planning, we have workshops for all of those things.
This is what everyone wants to know. How much does it cost, Regina?
It is free.
What?
Free.
Say that one more time.
$0? $0 for you to come and learn for yourself. And what I say is come in, learn, and then help your family. Help your family learn the same thing that you learn, because you don't want your kids to follow in the same footsteps that you have. I know I don't have any kids right now, but I don't want my nieces and nephews and all those things to be in the same situation I am. When it comes to college planning, they're going to be set. When it comes to savings and investing and all those things, they will know what exactly they need to do, because Auntie Gina is going to have it on lock.
Okay,
She's going to make sure that it's taken
Gina.
care of.
Get them, Gina. I see you. So exactly. Here at Millennials and Money, we look out for you. We care about yourself as well as your money. So we don't want to care more than you care, right? So come on out to one of our workshops. They're all over the Houston area, as well as any city that you're in. So if you're tuning in the Midwest, East Coast, West Coast, wherever you are, just send us an email, send us a DM, slide in our DMs, whatever you choose to do, and we can tell you exactly where a center is located near you. So we partner with several financial centers throughout the U.S. As well as Canada, if you're there. and we help you guys get your financial knowledge, get financially educated. So take part of it. It only takes 5 weeks to complete the full course. You can go 1 week at a time. You can skip around, go to week 3, week 4, whatever you want to do. But take time to get that knowledge. You take time for everything else. Just take time to go. And it's just one day, about 90 minutes, if that. You get an interactive workbook. It is definitely worth it. And it costs you nothing. You can ask as many questions as you would like. So definitely take advantage of that. But with these celebrities, if you are surrounded by people who have your well-being, or if you're surrounded by like-minded people, so if you're the only one out here getting financial knowledge, you have 4 other friends who have no financial knowledge, then you're the oddball out. So do you think that you have enough influence to change your circle? Or do you have to actually change your circle and get around some people who are actually financially who are savvy and who want to know and who want to grow? So you definitely want to stay surrounded by those type of people. As you see here, these are examples of celebrities who may not have had the right circle, or may not have that trusted friend or someone that can tell them no.
Or they weren't educated enough to know the things that they needed to do.
And that is definitely
and that's our generation. That's the life that we're living in right now, the world that we're living in. Many people are not educated on the things that they need to do, or if they do know what they need to do, they just don't want to do it.
Yep. So here in the article, we'll go back one more time and
to Steve McNair.
To all the Houstonians here, he was a Houston Oiler first before they moved to Tennessee and became a Tennessee Titan. To all you HBCU grads, this is one of the famous HBCU alumni who made it to the NFL, Steve McNair from Alcorn State, and it's definitely like proof to show you that if you don't have those things set up, you don't protect it, you don't know what's going to happen after your passing. Everything can seem so great, and then once, a little wrinkle in it and everyone changes. So if you can read this for us, Regina, exactly what it says.
I ain't gonna read it for word, but we can ad lib.
Okay.
In the sense of that he was basically murdered by his side piece. And side piece mistress, however you want to say it. And that, but he didn't have his will up to date, so he's worth quite a bit of money. Mm-hmm. He bought his mama a house, and the wife trying to charge the mama $3,000 a month for this house. You gone crazy.
So, and the mother didn't have it, right?
No, I mean that. For me, that shows that you did not you don't have any care or any love for that for his mom or at all. Like, to me, because me ethically, I just could not do that. He bought the house for his mom, and that. So why would you try to charge her $3,000?
But beyond that point, it shows that if you don't have the knowledge, then where are you getting it from, right? You can't depend on people before you, generations before you, to pass that down, because a lot of times it's not passed down from the previous generation of financial knowledge. So it is us millennials, which we are the largest generation in U.S. history. And the more we know, the more we can pass down, and we can actually make a difference. So you see so many memes, and you guys like it and talk all these fancy and nice, well-worded quotes about things that make us feel good in the moment, or how we want to change and do things. This is actual real change that you can do. You can start with yourself, and then you can slowly influence your inner circle, and it just carries on. With us being the largest generation in U.S. history, the moment we start getting more and more financially educated, we're here on a social media platform. You share this out, then more people get financially educated, and it grows and it grows and it grows. So this is something that you want to make viral. You want to make viral you being financially educated, so that we can definitely change the generations, and we can stop seeing GoFundMe's for funerals. We can stop seeing, people holding up signs saying, someone just passed and they need help with the funeral. These are things that we can actually see changed in our generation if we take the time and if we are actually motivated to get these things done. So be the difference in your inner circle. It starts there first, and then it'll grow and blossom, right?
Yes, definitely. And I know we talk about our Saving Your Future book. That is truly...
What is the Saving Your Future book? For those, if you're a first time tuning in, Saving Your Future book is our what we call our financial Bible. It is the blue
it's
book
our
of
go-to.
Wealth, right? Yes. So break it down the blue book form, Gina.
Basically, the blue book will definitely, it will save your life. The title is Saving Your Future. It will save your future. Not just your future, your family's future, from generations to generations. It's only a short read, a little over 80 pages, and it will truly change your life as long as you implement it. Like, you can't read it and not do anything and think it's going to work and save your life. No, it's not going to work.
It's not
you
just
have to implement.
applied knowledge,
yes,
right?
you have to apply it.
Yes.
But in that, we talk about estate planning. So all these topics that we're discussing today, all of it is in our handy dandy, what we call Blue Book, our Saving Your Future book. And you can get that from us, any of us, for free. For free. We don't charge you for it. But you need to apply it. I'm not just going to give it to you and you ain't going to use it. But we're going to talk about estate planning. So we talk about, it says few people think about estate planning. Of course, if people don't do much in terms of savings, investing, and insurance, estate planning will not be on their top priority. I know that for a fact. It's not. And most of us think estate planning is for the rich, as the rich don't even think it's for the rich. But in fact, everyone has an estate. Your estate is everything you own minus your debt, such as your house, car, money in the bank, and family heirlooms. So imagine you worked hard your entire life and built up an estate, and you want to pass it on to someone, but it ends up to someone else due to lack of planning. That happens.
It does.
It happens in everyday life. It doesn't happen. It doesn't matter if you're rich or whatever. One way or another, if you don't make a plan, the government will make a plan for you.
And I don't think you want them to do that.
No, because your family is going to suffer in the end. So it's important to plan ahead. Of course, we don't want to die. We don't want to talk about death. We don't want to talk about all these things. But one way or another, you came into this world, you're going to go out of this world. So why not plan for it? I mean, like, make it easy on your people. And I've heard too many times when people say, oh, my husband's going to take care of that. Oh, my wife is going to take care of that. Oh, I don't need to leave anything for my kids. Let them fend for themselves like I had to. The devil is a lie. Like, I don't understand where these people coming from.
Y'all
like,
got
y'all ain't got no heart. Where
Gina
is your
started.
heart? Like, seriously. I really, like, it hurts me to think that people would say that about their spouse, about their kids. Like, you really think. So if you think about it, a single, not a single parent, well, a two people household, the spouse passes away, that is the stay-at-home mom. Most people, it happened. My mom passed away. Stay-at-home mom, no insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So I know my dad knows the burden of it, because when my mom passed away, my brother was, I think junior. I think it was in high school, just starting high school. So he had to figure out housing, like what he was going to do, because my dad worked in Houston. We lived in Shepherd, all these other things. So you think a mother that does not work as a stay-at-home mom does not require life insurance, you gone crazy, because a stay-at-home mom is a 6-figure income. You try doing the chores, taking care of the kids, doing all these other things. Daycare is expensive.
It definitely is.
So you just got to plan ahead. Prioritize.
So we were talking about estate planning and also about wills. So as we just saw, all these celebrities pass away without properly updating their wills, or some didn't have the wills. It was a long list, so we just skipped around to a couple. But if you look here back in our Blue Book to wills, and if you're following along with us, this is page, I believe, 82 in the book. And it says, a will is a legal document that allows you to distribute your property to those of your choosing, right? So if you saw some examples, Heath Ledger couldn't include his wife nor his daughter. Steve McNair could not include his mother, right? There's several examples on there where you couldn't include someone, your loved one, and we just assume that so-and-so will take care of them. Well, maybe maybe you're the glue guy to that relationship. Maybe you're the reason why that relationship between these two people, they're connected through you, and you just assume that, okay, well, you love me, they love me, you'll do right by each other. That may not be the case, and we don't want to think the worst, but hey, reality happens, things happen. So you definitely want to make sure that you have that will in place, right?
Yes, definitely. And I've even seen it to where when you do make a will, I ain't gonna say if, because you need to make one. So I'm gonna speak it into existence. When you make a will, when you have the will set up, please let the people know who are the guardians of your children. Please let them know who, if you're gonna make them the executor of your estate, let them know, because I've seen it happen just recently where a person made changes, adjustments to their will, and did not let the person know that they wound up passing away from cancer. Didn't let them know that they were going to be the ones taking care of their special needs child. That's something that you need to, like, let people know. So those things are of high priority. You need to let somebody know, okay, this is what I would like, and have it in writing, have it notarized. All those things need to be taken care of, and make sure that that person agrees and is somebody that's going to do things the way that will be it should be done.
Yes. And a lot of times we feel as though this can't happen to us, right? We see the cases with all these celebrities like, oh, it's celebrities, it's not going to happen to us. I'm smarter than that. I'm going to do this or that with our money, blah, blah, blah. It happens to everyone, every single one. And more commonly to lesser known folks like you and I, as opposed to these celebrities. But everyone suffers from the burden of possibly going broke, right? The title of the show is Don't Go Broke, right? That's the goal. So we look at these celebrities, and even though the title of the article said die without a will, a lot of them die penniless. A lot of them die without anything left. They amass these huge fortunes that they didn't have because they didn't have the will and it wasn't protected. So who got it? Uncle Sam. And he's just sitting on it and collecting it, and there's no one who can do. So you spend all the money that you do have fighting legal battles, fighting to get all this stuff done, and you're just going through one red tape after another. So there are actually people who out there who are making six figures, not just, scraping pennies and pinching pennies guy, but people out there making six figures with, respectable job titles.
Yeah.
That are struggling day to day, that are losing their fortunes. It happens so much. So you'll see, and a lot of times it happens to people because of credit card debt. People get into debt. They feel like they have the money. I can pay it off. I can do this and that. And you just mass and mass and mass. And because of your huge take-home income, these companies go ahead and they're going to give you a credit card. Yeah, go ahead. Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Sure. Yes. And then we just swipe, and just build up all this stuff. So you were telling us about somewhat lottery winners, right? Here in Houston, we have the what is it, Mega Millions, the Texas lottery and the Powerball.
I know a few people that play the lotto, and most of the time, most lottery winners, because they don't know how to handle the amount of money that they have. I mean, they couldn't handle $100, let alone $100 million. So many of them go broke very, very quickly.
You made a very good point right there. Is that a lot of times we sit around and pre-show, we were sitting around with the producer, and we were talking about, hey, it's easy to say what you'll do when you don't have the money. Yes. And once you actually get the money, and then everything changes. Well, that's not the case if you know what to do with what you have right now, right? So if you know that, hey, if I get some money, I need to do here, I need to take care of this, I need to take care of this, I need to prioritize here and there, then you'll be okay. You'll know how to manage it. So if you can manage a little bit, you can manage a lot of it.
That's biblical.
Yes, right? So it goes on to say that people say, oh, you got some money and it changed you. The money doesn't change you. It just enhances who you already are. So if you're a generous giver,
your environment can change you.
You become a bigger giver, right? If you just someone who blew their money, you're just gonna blow a lot more of it. It's gonna enhance who you really are. So if you're not a good person and you blow it, you have a habit, or you low key have a habit, it will be high key on that habit. So
people will know.
Yes. So a lot of times we look at these lottery, man, if I did this and I did that. Well, these lottery winners are perfect examples of everyday people like you and I who come into a mass amount of money. We're unprepared for it because, one, we didn't listen to a modern Regina and go to these free financial workshops to get educated. Free financial workshops and get educated. I didn't know I could talk any slower than I already do. And get financially educated so that you too can know what to do when you amass these fortunes. So you have some examples for us, Gina?
Yes. One of our articles actually talks about, it actually says about how lottery winners typically go broke within the first 3 years. So we can bring that one up.
3 years?
Yeah, within the first 3 to 5 years, they go broke. They win all these millions and millions of dollars.
And they
file bankruptcy.
No way.
Yeah, because of frivolous spending.
Okay, what is
so it says, this gave an example. So it's of Mavis. I can't say her last name.
Okay, Mavis. I see you both.
Massachusetts. So she ignored the advice that financial experts typically give lottery winners, which is
like me
she
and
quit her
Regina.
job.
Okay, I agree.
She spoke with the press, Don't let the people know.
Well, some places you can't be anonymous.
Yes, and then she took her winnings as a lump sum.
Oh, she said, "Give me one lump." I feel you, boo.
And then while she may be able to afford to break the rules, most winners can't. So she filed bankruptcy within the first 3 years.
So what they mean by that is that her winnings were so large that she can lump sum it. Like sometimes they don't allow you to lump sum it out of your own protection, so they want to pay you off, and it's for your own good.
I'd rather them pay me off every year, because then I know I got money coming regardless.
I wish y'all could see that face. Oh my gosh, the face she made with those snaps. Classic. So it was saying here that lottery winners are more likely to declare bankruptcy in 3 to 5 years than the average American, which is more studies have shown that winning the lottery does not necessarily make you happier or healthier.
I can tell you that for sure. Money does not make you happy, because if that was true, many of these celebrities would not be committing suicide.
So again, money doesn't change you, it just enhances who you already are. So if you had these problems before, again, it's just more amplified, it's just more magnified. But so you won the lottery, and we all sit around. We've all played the game. Like, what would you do if you had $500 million? What would you do if you did this and that?
So I can't win.
And we always say these crazy, outlandish things, right? But here's one example, if you can pull it up, of this guy who did everything that I think I said I would do. Right, number 20. This is from the article from the Penny Hoarder. It says a $27 million spending spree. David Lee Edwards. Shout out to you, David.
He did.
R.I.P. to you, David. David split $280 million Powerball jackpot with 3 others. Now, we were in here talking about, hey, if we all play together and we split it, right?
And it's 3 of us. So
our producer is too young to get all that money, so we'll split it.
He's not too young because he's over 21.
No. He don't need all that money. We talked about it. He and I are good. I'm going to hold a little bit for him until he gets of age. So he split it with 3 other winners. And what he said,
and what he did the lump sum.
He was unemployed and living with his parents' basement. This was the perfect win for this guy. He was unemployed, living in his parents' basement.
He don't need a lump sum.
And he came up on millions. Right after taxes, he received a lump sum of $27 million. Now again, he split this 4 ways.
It was 3 ways.
Well, it was with 3 other people. So they split it 4 ways. After taxes, he had $27 million. We're all thinking, I would not go broke after having $27 million after taxes to do what I need to do. Well, let's find out. He bought a $600,000 house. All of you would do that.
That he could not pay the taxes for, which is, that's what most people's mistake.
So
don't
just
buy
like
a house
me,
that you cannot
me and
pay
Gina
the taxes
moving to River
for.
Oaks. We're about to do it
the
up.
The devil is a lie.
Okay. All right.
No.
Gina could come and visit me.
And I'll see that you file bankruptcy in 3 years.
Then David went on to get $1 million fleet of cars. Now, I don't agree with that.
You only got one butt.
All you need is about 4 cars, but I'm pretty sure he bought several luxury vehicles.
$1 million fleet of cars.
A $78,000 watch.
Somebody gonna knock him over his head.
Somebody probably, R.I.P. David. We don't know what happened. Somebody probably did knock him over the head. And a $1.9 million jet. David was living that life. Now, this is
does he not know how much it costs of fuel? You got to pay for the flight attendant. You got to pay for the pilot. You got to pay for all of those things every single time. Okay, let me tell you. Let me tell y'all this. Okay, at our last convention, Damon John was there. Damon John's FUBU. He was there. He actually said, yes, from Shark Tank. Now, he don't own his own plane. But you can, lease a plane and everything. He said every now and then he does fly
commercial.
No. Most of the time he actually flies commercial. He said because of the cost. Because you have to rent the plane, you have to rent the people. You got to have so many people on the crew and all these other things. Wow. You got to pay for all those. He said you can easily spend $50,000 like that
on one flight.
You're gone crazy.
I'll be sitting right next to Gina and Coach.
And so
next to Gina and Coach.
So if you bought a jet, you know the fuel on those things.
So wait, let's take a quick pause right there. A lot of times, if we're in the airport and here in Houston, such a huge airport if you fly out of Bush and you happen to see celebrities. You may see a basketball player.
Yes,
you may
I
see
did.
somebody.
I saw one of the gospel
Gina.
singers.
Look at Gina.
I saw Tina from Mary. I was like so excited. So like she didn't have her makeup and all that stuff on. So it was like early flight from Atlanta, and I could tell she didn't want to be
You
bald.
put it on blast like that. We about
know,
to go viral, Gina.
Hey, I
We
love
sorry.
you,
We
Tina. I love you,
apologize,
Tina. But I'm telling you, like I saw her My Block jacket on, and I looked at her. I was like. Because I could tell she didn't want to shoot it. Because that face was like, please don't call me out. Please don't call me out. That was her face. So I didn't want to, So I just
hit
said,
her with one of those church ones?
I was like, hi, I love you.
Did that church hang?
I did.
Gotta love Gina. So when we're in the airport and we see these celebrities who are on commercial with us, right? If you remember the Bow Wow challenge, somebody actually posted or tweeted a picture of Bow Wow sitting a couple seats across from them in a commercial flight in economy or something like that. It is okay. A lot of times we think
they
that
like to save money too.
Right,
they want to save their coins.
Exactly. Those are the people
but we
you
trying
won't
to
see on
live
that
like
list.
them, and they saving theirs.
Yes. So
and we spending ours.
So material things are not the sign of wealth, people.
No,
it's not the sign of wealth. So flying private is not the sign of wealth. Maybe here and there, once in a while, like you said,
Damon said he does it on a need, like if he needed to be somewhere and he didn't have any other option. But other than that, no.
It makes
who
no
wants to drop
sense.
$50,000 every time they fly?
Hey, if you have it, David actually had. Let's go back to David again. David was a lottery winner. He split $280 million 4 ways. He received $27 million after taxes. And this is what David purchased and why he ended up like he did, right? David purchased a $600,000 house, $1 million fleet of cars, a $78,000 watch, a $1.9 million jet, 200 swords and other medieval weapons. David was about that life, ladies and gentlemen.
That's probably what killed him. Somebody cut him with
Gina,
one of those
come
swords.
on. R.I.P. David. I'm going to hold it down for you.
Jesus.
So, as well as a $4.5 million fiber optics installation company.
That probably went bankrupt.
So, okay, David. He also married a woman 19 years younger than he was. Everybody, let's go ahead and give a round of applause to David for his purchases that he made. Don't give me that look. Okay, give me that look like don't go there. So I won't go there. Within a year.
There's so many things wrong with just that whole paragraph.
We'll skip that sentence. Within a year, he spent $12 million in 1 year. So he had 27. He spent 12.
Almost half of his money gone.
Okay, though. Let's see what happened. His house was soon lost to foreclosure. Come on, David. No. Let me read that again.
Yes.
The house was soon lost to foreclosure. So people out there, give me the camera. Give me the camera. People out there, just because you have a house and we say we own the house, there's always taxes.
You gotta pay taxes.
You always have to pay taxes.
You never own the land.
Yes, so that is something that can go ahead and take away your house, which is the taxes. So many people lose their house. They have wholesalers out there. People get the tax list. Every Tuesday or Tuesday once a month, they have here in Tuesday, they have Super Tuesday, which is the tax sales, the auctions on people's houses because they're delinquent in their taxes. Taxes can do you under. And then with all these private school districts here in Houston, you have school tax, you have property tax, you have so many taxes that go along with owning a home. So be mindful of that. Just because you can afford the note on the house, make sure you can continue to afford it. So this is why we talked about things in previous episodes. And we'll talk about it here today, that you want to make sure you have money well into your golden years, that you prepare for the long term. So don't just have money for the here and now, living for the moment, and then when you retire, you think Social Security is going to take care of you. It will not cover your taxes because taxes continue to rise. And guess what? We have no idea what taxes will be in 10, 20, 30 years from now. We have no idea. So you have to make sure that you're well prepared for it. But last little bit on David, and then we'll move on. Shout out to David one more time, though.
Can I read the last?
Go for it.
Okay.
So you love this part.
Yeah. Well, I don't love it. I mean, it's sad to say. So we said his house was lost to foreclosure. And then his wife was arrested for stabbing a boyfriend.
Okay, hold on. So Gina been hating on David and his wife /
the wife's boyfriend. So in the
some people have open marriages and relationships.
Okay, first of all, he won a lot. I'm just
Okay,
you know, like I'm gonna recap and then
Okay.
I'm gonna give my. So he won the lottery,
Okay.
living at home with his parents
In the basement.
in the basement. He got married.
He
to a
bought it
woman.
first. He bought a
all those
$600,000 house.
So obviously he was flaunting all his money. So of course a woman 19 years younger than him, no matter what he looks like, most likely a woman that young, they always are looking for some type
what
of.
the article doesn't say about David Lee, shout out R.I.P. David Lee, is that he been had this 19-year-old younger woman before he won the lottery. What I'm gonna assume, I'm making clear assumptions right here. I'm assuming right here. I'm going out on a limb, but I trust David and his skills.
No.
Don't tell me she came with the money.
I'm sure she did. If she has a side piece, she got a side piece. I mean, she was there for the money, and then she was arrested for stabbing him. He probably caught her with the side piece and said, and then she just tried to kill the boyfriend. Who knows? I don't know, but we know that at the end, David died at the age of 53. I don't know.
Wait, what?
Did I didn't say 53? Was it 53?
Come
58.
on, 58.
Sorry,
No.
58. 2013.
Whoa.
He died.
He's so young.
But he made so many errors, and many people that earns, that gets a significant amount of money at one time are more than what they're used to handling. Like even somebody that got a raise. So if you started out making, like $20,000-$30,000 a year, and then after you graduate, all these things, you earn $50,000, $60,000 a year. Most of the time, people's spending increases because they think, oh, I got more money. No, you don't.
You don't.
Because if you earn $60,000 a year, most likely after taxes, it may be $50,000 after taxes, maybe, and that's pushing it, depending on what your taxable income. If you get enough deductions, so you have to live below your means.
Yes.
If you don't, you will be in trouble.
Yes.
Severely in trouble.
So with that being said, you want to know what living below your means is? You need to know your number, right? In the words of LaShonda Johnson, know your number.
Yes.
So what that means is know exactly what it is that you can live off of, right? We go by the 70-30 rule. You want to live off of 70% of your take-home income, your after taxes, that net amount, not the gross, the net amount. And then the other 30% you want to put away. You want to save it for your savings, your retirement, school, your giving, tithing, whatever you want to do with that other 30%, that should go towards other things. But the 70% is what you want to live off of. Again, all of this information we provided to you at no cost. Get our blue book. It has 86 pages of wonderful financial information. It's called Saving Your Future for a reason, because we want to save your financial future so it doesn't go into the tank. You don't blow the money fast. BMF, like David here. Shout out to you, David. R.I.P. David.
And there was another article that we was talking about, is six-figure earners that it was from The Cut.
Okay, so the Cut had an, oh man. So this is my favorite article, guys, right here. As millennials, right? We're licensed financial professionals. People come into our office daily. We sit down with them and we have discussions with them, and we want to know how they got to where they are, right? So in order for us to fix you and help you get to where you need to be, we have to know exactly your past mistakes so that we can correct those and you won't repeat it.
Yes.
But a lot of times people,
they don't want to talk about it.
They don't want to tell
They're
us.
They're ashamed.
Yes, and this right here is perfect. It says there's a ton of shame around money, right? There's so many people who refuse to talk about it, or they hide it, or they keep it secret. Well, how will you learn about it? How will you know about it? So there was a time someone came in and they didn't want to talk about their money, like, oh, that's personal information. Well, if you go to the doctor and you're having...
They don't tell the doctor everything.
You're having an ache in your leg, and then you tell him your arm hurts. Well, then when he treats you for your arm and you leave, your leg is still the problem. So if you have an issue in your financial house somewhere and you don't tell us exactly what's wrong, we can't fix that. So you go
and then
out
they're
with
gonna they're gonna go off and tell people that we don't know what we're doing.
Exactly. You have to come clean. You have to be willing to share it. If you want to get better, you have to become transparent.
Yes,
you have to
very much so.
Exactly. Open yourself up. We're only here to help you. That's it.
But we
can't help you until you're ready to admit you have a problem, that you're ready to come clean and go forward. This is not to put you on blast. We don't share anybody's personal information.
No,
We're
we
professionals.
can't.
We don't have that ability to do that, even if we wanted to. So understand there's no reason to be shameful about it.
No, because many of us are in that situation, or have been in the situation and all those things. So we want to help you because we were able to get help. So we're just lifting a helping hand out to our loved ones,
Lift them up,
and
lift
our
them
people.
Up, lift them up.
And so if you don't want to be helped, hey, that's all I can say.
But yes, so that article from The Cut it spoke so perfectly to the millennial generation and a lot of people inside the millennial generation that's afraid or that's ashamed to talk about their financial situations. And if you can't talk about it to your closest group of friends who you tell about all your relationship information, all that private information, but you can't tell them what's going on financially.
People don't want to talk about their money because they're living a life that they think they're like, oh, I'm going here, I'm doing this. And people assume because you're doing stuff, you making money.
No.
No,
so
that just
guys, follow all of us on social media. Let me break that down again. You're right here on Facebook. Like this video, share it to somebody else, invite them in here, follow our page, like all the stuff we posted. Jump over to Instagram, like us there. It's millennials_and_money at Instagram. We're also on Meetup. Also follow the famous Tony Sanders at Tony Sanders.
Oh, I love Tony.
Financial Services. I'm sorry if I messed it up, Tony. Tony is
just
so funny.
Just follow Tony Sanders. Find
Tony,
Toni.
Tony said that it's not Facebook, it's fake book. That you're up here living your fake
and
lives.
Broke and bougie.
Right. Living your best life.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, Tony is so funny, but she will come correct and she will address you.
She's so passionate about what we do.
So definitely, you can email us again, get our blue book, find out where all the workshops are. We have them each and every week, in most places twice a week. It's info@millennials and the letter N money.com. You can find us there. You can give us a call as well. It's 1-844-700-4463.
I always mix up the number. That's why I didn't say it.
It's okay. You can definitely reach out to us. You can email me here at ahmad.scott01@gmail. You can follow me on social media. I'm Ahmad Scott everywhere that you can find me. And we definitely want to look out for you and give you some help. So we have here about, what do we have?
Well, our last article actually talks about retailers that go bankrupt. Like
what?
Well, I know we're seeing them. This was 2017, so of course there's others in 2018 that have already filed bankruptcy, but we didn't see those articles.
So before we go down and reveal these things, now take into account, we started off with the celebrities, right? So again, the title of the show is Don't Go Broke. Right? So we talked about these celebrities who amassed what should be generational wealth
but
they ended up not having, essentially going broke, not having a will, not being able to protect the estates and things like that. We pulled out our blue book. We showed you how you can get a will, get an estate, protect yourself. We go and talk about common folk, the everyday people like you and I. We come into amass some money. We work hard. We go to school. We get our higher education. We get our 6-figure jobs. And yet we still find a way to go broke.
Yep.
Right? We hit the lottery. All our dreams come true. That $2 turned into
in 3 years.
$200 million. And you see 3 to 5 years they declare bankruptcy because they do the things that you dream about, but not the smart things that are going to
they don't put their money in the
keep
right
you
place
and sustain you. And this is a lack of knowledge, a lack of not knowing. So when you're frustrated, it comes from a lack of not knowing. And when you're financially frustrated, it's because you don't know something. Either you don't know where your last dollar went or where your next dollar is coming from. And you can change all that. We have simple tools and solutions to help you learn all those things that you need to know. So now we're going into the people who employ us, who employ a lot of the nation, right? A place we're going to spend so much time from October to December because everybody's going holiday shopping.
Well, they ain't going to be going there now.
So these were some of the places that we love to shop and go. So we can pull an article back up. These are just 15. There's so many, but these are just 15.
Toys R Us. I actually used to work at Toys R Us.
What? You were a Toys R Us kid?
I was a Toys R Us kid. When I tell you, I loved that store.
Yeah.
My niece, man, she was G'd up when I tell you, because they had the Kids R Us in the section in there. I'm telling you, she was the cutest little baby around.
So I was not a Toys R Us kid. We could not afford Toys R Us.
I couldn't afford it either, but I was a teenager and I spent my check on my niece.
when we had our daughter, we got a gift card for Babies R Us And I looked inside of Babies R Us and I was like, all we can afford out of here is like a bib. Like it's so expensive.
You gotta
like,
get it when it was on sale.
Man.
So and then I had like a 30% off discount. So I was spending my money.
so Toys R Us,
Toys R Us,
gone.
yeah,
Goodbye.
gone.
What's next on the list?
The next one, Radio Shack, and actually one of my best friends worked at Radio Shack years ago. Yeah.
So it seems like wherever you worked or your best friends work is not a good sign for these retailers. So be careful.
No, that was really the only, that and Lowe's was the only other retailer I worked at. Other than that, I was always in banking or healthcare and all those things.
So Radio Shack, man, that's been gone for a while, and Radio Shack was definitely a place a lot of people frequent. What else we have on the list here? We have H.H. Gregg. So I lived on the East Coast for a while in North Carolina.
Gregg.
And this was a similar to a Best Buy.
Yeah.
There was a lot of H.H. Greggs on the East Coast.
And so it's like did the same as Radio Shack. The issue is that they're not evolving.
Mm-hmm.
So like Amazon has really taken over when it comes to online. People don't want to go into a store, even for Black Friday. People don't want to go into the store. They want to order everything online. They want easy access. I can click a button, and they want to make sure that they can return it for free.
Yep.
But they don't mind the times. They don't want to waste the time standing in lines and all those things. And I'm one of those people. I ain't got time to be standing in all those long lines. The only long line I stand in line for is Chick-fil-A. I'm not going to lie. That's the only line.
You can't help it. There's no way to speed that up. Chick-fil-A.
But they serve you with a smile. I mean, I love it.
Oh, my gosh. You can't
and they
hate
say
Chick-fil-A
my pleasure after.
it's so good.
I love Chick-fil-A.
It's so good.
But that's the only long line that I'll stand in line in for the most part when it comes to retail and all those fast food restaurants.
Okay, what else is on our list?
I'm just saying, hey, tell the truth.
Jamboree. This was a place I didn't like.
I remember that.
Shopping for my little girl. I don't like going inside of Jamboree because like they would trick you. They would say, "Oh, 40% off of everything," and the stuff you really like. Oh no, that's not 40%. Only
I know
that
the
stuff.
sign. The sign would be very
Man.
misleading. Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, good for you, Jamboree.
I do remember that. And
okay, what else we have?
I think limited.
Oh my gosh, they have the limited 2 TOO.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a trendy shopping. Wow.
All these companies really just didn't evolve over time. They expanded because they saw the growth and all these things, and they built all these brick and mortar buildings, but they don't understand the overhead, and they didn't evolve because they saw that times were changing. If you think about Nokia and all.
Are they on the list? Let's see.
Nokia bankrupt a long time ago. But I was just saying, but even it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you can file that. They can file bankruptcy. Most credit unions, you don't see them file bankruptcy. What they do is they join another credit union, and that's what most banks do. They don't necessarily file bankruptcy. They'll just merge with a bigger corporation to join forces. But if you think of recently, I think it was a few months ago, the Clear Lake, it's Bay Area Regional Hospital. I want to say the right name. The hospital that filed for bankruptcy. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you don't evolve over time, if you don't have the right type of consumers or payer sources when it comes to healthcare, you're going to be in trouble.
And this also speaks to the overarching point that we're trying to make is that if you're not financially savvy, or literate, these things can happen to you. These are giant companies. Jeffrey the Giraffe and Toys R Us. Who would ever thought that?
Toys R Us. Look, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. I mean, I was a Toys R Us kid.
These things happen to everybody everywhere. So don't sit there and like, oh, well, this is not going to happen to me. When I get my money, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z.
Baby.
Okay, that's fine. And I hope you do, because once you come, talk to Regina or myself or any of the other millennials. We have Cassandra, we have Yancy, we have Jessica, we have so many more millennials that you don't see here today. They'll probably be on the next episode that you can speak with. If you don't want to speak to Regina or myself, that can help you get financially secure.
Why wouldn't they want to speak to us? We're lovable people.
Yep, what she said. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. But alluding to Regina's point is that if you're not evolving, if you're not changing over time, and if you're not progressing
you're
with the time,
you're going to be stagnant.
Exactly. So if you think that I'm just going to keep putting my money in my shoebox, on top of the refrigerator, under my bed, it won't happen. If you think that I'm going to keep putting my money in my savings account with Bank of America because they give me additional $50 for having a safety, no, that won't grow your money. And again, those places, banks are essential. Yes, you need them for things. But but you're not going to grow your money inside a bank. Trust me.
Leading
you're
into
not.
that, we can go back to our Savvy Blue Book.
Dun,
So
dun, 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 dun.
we're going to go to page 76 and 77.
All
We're
right,
going to
what
talk
we
about
got?
managed
What we
growth
got?
because he was talking about growth. We want to know how to grow our money. So these people, now this is, I can tell you back in the day, I would always talk about, you know, if I won the lottery, all I want to do is pay off my student loan debt. That's all I said. I said I want to pay off my student loan. I just want to be debt free. Literally pay off all my debt. That's all I said I want to do. But I didn't when I said that, I didn't understand what I need to do after I paid off my debt. What should I do?
Now you do,
but
right?
now I do.
Now she does.
Now I do. So
Tell him,
God,
Jada. Tell him,
see,
Jada.
I ain't got to win the lottery because I've won the lottery here. See,
Okay.
The lottery is the opportunity that I got here.
She preaching.
Preaching.
Keep going. Keep
Okay,
going,
so any
Jada.
tip.
Give me a little
So
slow
we need to
music in the
talk
back.
about-
A flat, please. No.
You're so silly. No, we need to talk about managed growth. So this is what we talk about here. How do you win the money game? You have to win by using growth and safety. I know banks are safe,
Mm-hmm.
but we need growth in order for our money to grow the way that we need it to grow because to be able to compound interest. So we say millions of people are drowning in a sea of debt. Bankruptcies don't just happen to the working people. It befalls people from all walks of life.
As we just saw.
Yes.
Celebrity
Some
millionaires,
peop-
big
yes.
companies.
Some people make a lot, but they spend a lot too. What does the lottery person do? Others make big bets when the market is hot, but shy away when the market is undervalued. They lose and don't know why they lose. And those who win don't often know why they win. If they knew, they would continue to do what makes them win and avoid what makes them lose. Lack of knowing how money works is the main cause of losing the money game. And that's what we're trying to do. That's why our financial workshops are so vital, is because we can help you win in the money game. Who don't want to win?
Well,
everybody talks about how they rolling in dough. They want to be doing this. They
Securing
working
the
all
bag.
these.
They
They
securing
working
the
all.
bag.
They working all these jobs, 2-3 jobs. And why are they working 2-3 jobs? They're working all this overtime and spending less time with their family because they're living. For one, they're most likely living beyond their means, or they're trying to pay catch up because they took out of their 401k and they've been taxed and all these other things.
Correct.
And if they knew the proper way to save and invest and put their money aside, we wouldn't have to work hard. We'll be able to spend the time. And true happiness is being able to live the life that you were purposely given by God to live, and be able to spend time with your family and do the things that you need to do to pass on a legacy of generational wealth, generational knowledge. And wealth isn't necessarily in money, but wealth and knowledge, and wealth and just knowing that your family is going to be taken care of whenever you go. So I would say that the next one is just growth and safety. So
Next page 77,
page 77, because we don't have that much time. I'm just going to go a little fast, but this is what you learn in one of our workshops. Talk about growth, talk about safety, talk about tax advantages and the proper and protecting your investments, protecting those things, because we want growth, we want safety. We need to protect our money from taxes, because as you see, when you win the lottery, you are taxed very heavily. I mean, you're taxed a lot. And then you want proper protection. You want to be able to protect that investment,
because it's one thing to have growth, you grow your money, but it's another thing to, if you have growth with no safety, then you lose, right?
Yes,
if you have safety with no growth, then what's going on? So you have growth and safety, and then you want to have protection against the unforeseen,
and you don't want
things
Uncle
like
Sam
that.
to take your money.
And then of course, when you're ready to take your money and live into your golden years, you want to have those advantages, the tax advantages. So there are ways in which you can pay taxes on the seed and no taxes on the harvest. What we're doing a lot of times through these company-funded retirement programs is that we're paying taxes on the seed as well as the harvest, because your money come in, they already tax you when they took it out. You put it in there, you're paying all these penalties and fees, and then when it's time to take out your money, you're like, oh man, I have $100,000 in my 401k, which is not enough to retire on.
And you ain't got it.
And then it comes out and they're like, oh yeah, we need our cut. They're taking theirs off the top. And it's just a losing game. So you definitely want to know your number And it's not too early to start thinking about retirement. It is definitely not too early. The same thing when you're in middle school.
If you're working, you need to think about it.
Exactly. It's not too early to start thinking about college when you're in middle school. It's not too early to start thinking about retirement when you're in your 20s, your 30s, or your 40s. This is definitely something that you're working towards. We're not just working just to be working, making money just to blow it all and spend it.
No, we have a goal.
Exactly. And you need to have a goal. And if you don't, we can sit down with you and we can map out something for you. And then we can alter it and change things along the way as life events happen, which they will. So as life events happen, your plans can change, but your goal remains the same. So allow us to help you adjust your goals so that you can meet the plan so that you can meet your goals that we have for you. But again, you can find us, Millennials and Money, each and every first and third Wednesday right here on the Spirit Network,
Yes.
Millennials and Money podcast. I'm Ahmad Scott.
And I'm Regina Walker.
Yes. So again, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Meetup,
Everywhere.
all those things.
Wherever you want us to be, we are there. Contact us. We would love to come speak to your group.
Okay, Gina.
Yes, I love it. I just did a speaking engagement today. I don't mind speaking, as
There
you
you
can
go.
see.
Episode 15 on August
It's a
15th.
wrap.
You guys have a good day.
Bye.